NISANDEH NETA here with Business Boost in 60 minutes, and today online class is about the 10 habits, 10 money habits you must adopt. Most people I'm working with have what I call the cancer of the wallet. Their financial situation is not great, but it's also very insecure. Most of the people I'm working with have lots of worries about money, have tension and stress around the issues of money. They don't know where money would come in the next months or 6 months or a year. And because that's what happens with small entrepreneurs. For employees, it's different, right? Employees kind of know that they will get a paycheck in the next months if they work or not. It's not really make a difference. But for entrepreneurs, that's different. Now, this is not a good situation. You do not want to live your life worrying about money issues, like you don't want to live your life worrying about your health or about your relationship or about anything else in your life. You want to be able to use all your energy in order to prosper and grow and experience abundance in any area of our life. And when we are worried, when we're stressed, when we're not knowing how to deal with the situation, then a lot of our energy is taken there and we're not using or we're not fulfilling our potential. So what I want to cover today is actually two parts. First of all, I want to cover what caused this, what I call cancer of the wallet, which are 10 habits that many people all over the place, all over the world are suffering from or got those habits probably through their parents and through the education system and everywhere. But we're just adopting those habits and we're using them every single day to actually encourage and create more and more of this cancer of the wallet. So brace yourself, because we're going to start immediately with the 10 money habits you shouldn't have. Okay, so let's take a look on those bad money habits. First of all, living beyond your means. If you live beyond your means, that's a very bad habit, and most people are doing it. Okay, living beyond your means that if you're earning 3,000 euros, but you're spending every month 3,200 euros, then you're living beyond your means. Your expenses are bigger than your income. That's not a good habit to have. Okay, that's not a good habit to have. And by the way, by doing it, you're also showing that to your surrounding, to your kids, to your partner, etc. And you're making this bigger. So this is the first habit we need to stop. We'll talk about it a little bit later. The second one is, and it's a total result from that, if you're living beyond your means, the second thing that can happen is that you start getting into debts. Now, getting into debt one time in your life, that's not a habit. But when we're doing it on a regular basis, which means it can start at a very early age, many people are taking student loans, which means you're starting your life before you even earn any money. While you're just studying, you're already getting into debt. That's crazy, that's nuts, and that's being encouraged by everyone. It will be encouraged by the government, it will be encouraged by the financial institutions, by the banks, it will be encouraged probably by your parents and by your financial advisor. They will tell you that it's a good thing. No, it's not a good thing. First you earn, then you spend. But it can continue later. I mean, one of the craziest things I ever heard is that small business consultants are recommending their clients, people that just start a business, to take a small business loan. You're getting into a debt again before you're earning a cent. You already have a shackle connecting or tied to your foot from the get-go. So this is how a habit starts. But then if it continues to credit card debts, to a mortgage, of course, which is for most people it's the biggest debts, etc. When we are getting used to the habits of debts, that is going to, for sure, make sure that you'll never become financially free, because you cannot become free with debts. But it's also, this is eating your energy, it's eating on the earning ability that you have. You do not want to get into debts. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Next, the number three, this is happening a lot more than it should be. And this is a bad habit, is looking for or asking for information or for advice from people that don't know what they're talking about. So seeking and following an uninformed or a hidden agenda advice, this is a very bad thing to do. It's our laziness that we don't want to learn or to educate ourselves about, about finances, about money, about investment, about risks when it comes to money, because we don't want to take the time and the effort for that. We are actually delegating our decision making to advisors of all kind, and most of those advisors first don't know what they're talking about, and second, they probably have a hidden agenda. They're trying to sell you something, either a financial product or an investment product or whatever it is. They're making money out of selling you a certain type of advice or a certain type of product, and you're buying it as if it's the word of God. So we need to be very, very careful who we take advice from when it comes to money, because most people, including most of the financial advisors out there, are broke. So why would you take financial advice from somebody that doesn't have any money? And it's very, very easy to figure it out. If somebody gives you any kind of financial advice, ask them, do you follow the same advice? Are you investing in the same vehicle? Are you managing your money in the same way? Are you in the same, doing the same action that you recommend me? And if they say yes, just ask them, I would like to see how it works for you. So if it's your turnover, your profits, your yearly accounts, whatever it is, if they are refusing to show you that or to disclose that, then you want to run as fast as possible. I never want to work with a financial advisor that make less money than me. Actually, I only work with financial advisors that are making tens or hundreds of times more money than me, because then I see, okay, they know what they're talking about. Taking an advice from an employee of a bank or from an accountant that is broke or close to broke all the time, I don't get it. Okay, so you need to be very careful who you take advice from. Number four, crucial. The more you evolve in your business, the more you grow, the more you learn, you will earn more money. If you're following our courses, there is no doubt that you will earn more money in your business if you follow and implement. The problem with most people is that when they earn more money, they start spending more money. So somehow their spending are going in the same graph or the same way that their earning goes. So if the earning goes up, they say, hey, I have more money, now I can buy the new car, or I can buy a bigger house, or I can go on a more expensive vacation. And it's very natural, and it makes sense, right? Now I didn't have money so far, so I didn't spend my money. That's great. Now I have more money. Now I can spend more, and that's a big, big mistake that most people are doing. You do not want to have that your line of expenses is just following the line of income of earnings, because earnings goes up and down. Right? Especially when you're an entrepreneur. Sometimes you're doing very well, sometimes you're not doing so very well. However, usually when you get into expenses or when you get into increasing your lifestyle cost, it's very, very hard to reduce it. Because if you now bought a bigger house and now you have a mortgage which is bigger than that, or you bought another car and now you have a car loan for that, or just because you got used to a higher standards of living, then it's very, very hard to change that. So income goes up, your expenses go up, now your income goes down for whatever reason, but the expenses stay high most of the time. And that's the surest way to go broke. Trust me from experience. This is the surest way to go broke. That's why you see all those movie stars and top athletes and I don't know, models that made tons and tons of money, and then they started spending the money because they assumed that the income will go like this forever. But then the next movie didn't pan out, or the next deal, sponsorship deal didn't pan out, or whatever it is, and the expenses stay high, income goes down, and they get broke. Doesn't matter how many millions they made. So be very careful with that. This is one of the first things we teach in the financial freedom. Never just disconnect the lines of income or earnings and expenses. They should not have any connection. You want to increase your lifestyle, you do this from another source of income, right? It's called passive income. This is financial freedom material, but just try to remember that. So that was habit number 4. Okay, bad habit number 4. Bad habit number 5 is not saving money. It's a not doing kind of habit. Not saving money. And I grew up in a family that they saved all the time. I mean, my parents worked, both of them, really, really hard, lots of hours, many, many years of their lives. And everything that left, and they tried to keep as much as possible, was going to saving for rainy days or for retirement or whatever it is. I didn't like that. Okay, I didn't like that as a teenager or as a child, and I rebelled against it. And because I was an entrepreneur and because I made so much money, I said, well, as an entrepreneur, I can always make more money. So why saving? And I didn't ever save in my youth when I made millions of dollars at that time. And when my company went bust, I actually had nothing, and I went into debt of almost $1 million. I'm talking about a few months. It's not over a period of 15 years. In a few months, and I didn't have a cent for my name in a saving, so I can, in a way survive. So I needed to basically from loans and favors and donations and all kinds of stuff like that. You do not want to do that, okay? You need to learn how to save money on a regular basis. You need for sure to have in a saving, some kind of a saving pot for contingency or emergency, whatever you want to call it. And that needs to be, depends on your tolerance for risk, if you want, but anywhere between 3 months to 6 months to a year of living expenses, you need to have stored and closed in a bank account or somewhere that you can use if for whatever reason you cannot work or you cannot make any money or earn any money for 3 months, 6 months or a year. You have that security that this money is there. So that's the first saving. But we're talking about saving for anything else. If you're talking about saving for any big purchase, for a big vacation you want to do, for a new car, for I don't know, we are right now renovating not the house, but around the house. And, you know, that's quite a big investment. So we save for that. All right, so those were the first 5 bad habits. We're going for the next 5. And again, don't get depressed if you're doing it. Most of us, all of us probably, were doing it unless we were educated differently. And most of us were not educated differently. Okay, you need to come usually from a wealthy family that have money for generations. They know a lot better than that. Or you need to be very, very lucky. Okay, but otherwise this is not something that we learn in school. There's not something that we learn at home, and you need to figure it out yourself, or, you know, come to us or somebody like us. Okay, but let's continue further. Let's continue to number 6. Number 6 is a bad habit. It's again a not kind of a habit. It's not educating yourself about money. I mentioned it a little bit before about the advice, but we're kind of being lazy, or yeah, I think it's more laziness than anything else, because it comes from the fact that most of us don't want to think about money. Money is not so important. Money is a means to do something, right? We need to buy food, we need to buy out, we need to, to go on vacation, or we want to go on vacation. So for that we need money. But for otherwise, we don't want to think about it. We want to think about what we're passionate about. We're not passionate about money. I'm not passionate about money. I actually don't know anyone that is passionate about money. We're passionate about what we do, about the things that are important for us in our life. And money takes a very a kind of a necessary evil. And for that, we don't want to invest time and effort to learn how to do it better. But that's nuts. That's crazy. If we're not increasing our financial IQ, if we're not informing ourselves, we will make bad financial decisions almost every single time. And, you know, if you've ever made a bad financial decision, you know what I mean. Okay? When we are uninformed in any area, it's very, very hard to make smart decisions. We're making uneducated decisions. Sometimes we're lucky. I can tell you that I was lucky sometimes, but many times we're not that lucky, and most of the time we're taking a big, big risk by not educating ourselves. So this is something that I learned about, I don't know, 20-something years ago, 25 years ago actually, and I committed to read one business book or one financial book every single week. I did that about from 25 years ago, and I think I never broke it. Okay, so that's almost 50 books a year. I'm not asking you to do that. You can do less than that, but you need to educate yourself more about money and about business and about ways to, to increase your earning ability. Most of us are not doing it. It's a very, very, very bad habit, and it's really not important what their story is. It's boring. I'm not interested. I don't understand that. It's too difficult. I don't know what books to buy, etc., etc. All those are just excuses. Okay, the point is that this is something that we need to change. We'll talk about it. Okay, number seven, not managing your money. Not managing your money, either not managing your money at all or not managing your money correctly. And that's connecting to the savings that we mentioned before, and that connects to living beyond your means. But it's a little bit more encompassing. So basically, you're getting a certain amount of money every month. What do you do with it? Most of us are just putting it in one pot and taking whenever we need, right? That's our money management. I'll take it when I need it. And that's not a very good money management system. This is material, how to create a good money management system is material that belongs to Financial Freedom course. So it's a little bit more advanced than what we can do right now. But I will give you a few tips on that in the good habits, right? In the habits you must adopt. Number eight, again, it's not negotiating. We should negotiate all the time. Every wealthy person I ever met is negotiating all the time for everything. They do that part of it for fun, part of it for the practice, and part of it because this is a good business sense and it's good money sense. We work hard for our money. It makes sense that we will pay as less as possible for what we get, and we'll get the higher prices for what we give. So that's part of negotiating. And again, your mind might say, yeah, but that's not how we're doing it. We're not living in that culture. That's not how my family is doing it. I couldn't care less. Okay, successful people are negotiating, poor people and struggling people are not negotiating. Well, you choose where you want to be, but negotiations is important. Not negotiating is a very, very bad habit. Everything else is just excuses. Number nine, not for everyone, but maybe for you, you really need to notice that, and that might push a little bit, but a very, very bad habit is not asking what you're worth. Okay, if you're worth if you're asking, I don't know, 100 euros per hour of your work, but you're saving lives, then you're not asking for what you're worth. Okay, and most of us are saving lives this way or another. Okay, and maybe not, you know, not in terminal cases, maybe not in emergencies, but we are improving qualities of life. We are helping people, and if we're not asking for what we're worth, we are actually sabotaging ourselves. We're shooting ourselves in the leg. We're making sure that we don't attract the right clients. We make sure that we're not treated the right way. We make sure that we cannot then give the maximum that we could give. So this is something that is really, really important to learn, how to ask for what we're worth. Okay, how to actually, again, coming back to negotiation, or just being able to say, hey, that's what I'm worth. You want it, take it. You don't want it, that's fine. Totally fine. Now people are saying, well, you know, I want to work and support those people that cannot afford me. Well, that's really nice. Okay, that's very noble, and I appreciate it. You shouldn't work with those people, not as a business. You want to give something to the poor, that's absolutely fine. That's your hobby. Do that on your Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. During working hours, you work with those people that have the money and that actually can appreciate what you have to give them. Okay, almost every big lawyer, almost every expensive service provider, whatever it is, will have what they call pro bono. So they will work a few hours a week, a few hours a month for free, for the poor and for the disadvantaged and everything. That's totally fine, but that's a hobby, that's a contribution if you want. That's not what you're doing in your business. In your business, you're charging the highest prices you can get because you're worth it. So you get the right target audience for that. I hope that makes sense. I know that it's kind of pushing buttons, but this is really, really, really important. This is one of the main reasons I see why our clients, our students are struggling, is because they don't ask what they're worth. Okay, number 10, last one is wasting your time. It sounds like, what does it have to do with money? But time is money. Actually, time is a lot more expensive than money, because money you can always get more. Time you can't, right? Time, every minute that you spend, every minute that you're wasting on stuff that is not productive, you're actually losing money. If you want to work 8 hours a day and be productive during these 8 hours a day, or whatever it is, and you choose during the time to check your Facebook, to check your emails set in times, to chat on the phone with somebody, to I don't know, go out for a smoke, play video games, whatever it is that you're doing to waste time, then those minutes that accumulate, and for most people that's not minutes, those are hours a day, a working day. This is wasted money. It's money that you burn, money that you threw down the drain, that will never come again. You need to learn to focus, and I don't care how many hours a day you work, as long as those hours are dedicated for being productive. Being productive means that those are the hours that at the end can generate for you income, this way or another. Right now when I'm doing it, that's it. I'm not doing anything else. You're not seeing me right now sitting behind my mobile phone and I don't know, answering text messages or playing Angry Birds or doing Facebook. I'm focusing on you and just on you right now. And when this one will be broadcasted, when you're actually watching it right now, I'm sitting behind my computer waiting for the moment that I can answer your questions. And that's all I'm doing. Okay, because I'm focusing right now on being productive, and that's what you want to do in your business. You do not want to do anything else. This is waste of time, which means actually waste of opportunities and waste of money. So those were the 10 habits that actually are bad money habits, and they are causing you cancer right now, the cancer of the wallet.